listening to Race Day Live on Downforce UK, brought to you by Clapham North MOT, Motorsport Days Live, Stopwatch Hospitality and Trade Price Cars.
Hello, good morning everybody, and welcome to the South Wales Karting Centre here at Llandow, not too far away from Bridgend on the borders of Cardiff. It is a beautiful, glorious day here on the April coastline of Wales, and it is a fantastic first round of the championship for the 2018 BirelART UK Series that we are about to get underway with. Jake Sanson up here in the commentary box, just opposite the start-finish line here at Llandow, and it has been an absolutely brilliant weekend so far. Baking hot sunshine yesterday, a little bit of a cooler breeze start to the day today with a little bit more cloud and the possible ongoing threat of some light showers as the day progresses. But we have got some absolutely brilliant racing from our three classes for cadets, juniors and seniors as the weekend goes on. A lot to talk about in 2018. Times have changed and so too have the classes, and we'll talk about that at length over the course of the day. Apologies to all of you who were hoping to get the season started 5 weeks ago, none the least of whom are frustrated as ourselves. Obviously we were meant to be kicking off at Wilton Mill 5 weeks ago, but the snow kind of gave us another plan, unfortunately, and we had to postpone activities with a massive snow flurry that engulfed the circuit. However, we are now ready to rock and roll, and we've got some brilliant racing to come as the cadets are now out on circuit for their qualifying session. We are live trackside here at Llandow. We are also live on Downforce UK Radio, and we're also live via the Alpha live streaming service. There's just a couple of teething problems with that, but it will be back online very shortly indeed. But the qualifying session is underway for the cadets, and there's a few new faces to talk about over the course of the 2018 season. The drivers for this season are as follows. Number 1, Ella Stevens, the reigning cadet champion. 5 is Nathan Tye, 6 is Charlie Humphreys, 7 is Kylan Ingram, and 9 is Oakley Keatley. The seeded drivers from last year all battling back, with the number 9 of Oakley Keatley particularly important to watch as he was last year's rookie champion. There are plenty of other drivers in the field as well, though. The 48 of Dylan Briley, the 49, the first of our novices, Jamie Scott, 54, Lily Jeffs, 55, Aidan Hassan, 57 is Ryan Smith, 59 is Archie Heron, 60 is Max Fraser, 63 is Jamie Gurney, 83 is Josh Turnbull, 85 is Chase Sharp, 86 is Ali Hussein, 92 is Callum Lockett, 98 is Craig Evans, 100 is Hudson Cross, and the 101 is Jamie Warner. It's a busy grid for the first round of the championship here at Llandow for the cadets, and we're really excited about how the racing is going to fare over the course of proceedings. We got some great drivers all battling away for the pole position. The first flying laps are coming in. It's Nathan Tye who's hit the top spot early on with a 50.618. And not a bad time at all. Oakley Keatley straight in there for second place with Charlie Humphreys in the sixth plate. They're in third position. With number 1, Ella Stevens. No major surprises, is there in the top 4. The leading rookie thus far is the 57, Ryan Smith, who has been particularly strong over the course of the meeting. In terms of his times, he is getting very, very quick. And after his impressive performance in the Cadet Academy yesterday morning, he has just continued that pace all the way throughout. So things have gone very well indeed from Ryan Smith's point of view. They're in fifth position at the moment. Then we have Dylan Briley, Jamie Gurney, and the 7 of Kylan Ingram. We're going to continue on through the course of the session, of course, as we keep up to date with everything that is happening. And it's very exciting stuff in the cadets, as it always is. It'll be quite close this year, with several drivers returning and others making their debut. Plenty of novices in the field in 2018. Nathan Tye on pole position at the moment from Ella Stevens, Charlie Humphreys and Oakley Keatley, with Ryan Smith fifth. Jamie Gurney's back on the pace again, up into sixth position. They had some difficulties yesterday. They've got hold of a new kart for this year, and they, for whatever reason, have not quite been able to have the pace that they had last year. Yesterday was a frustrating one for them, but this morning, straight back on the pace. Jamie Gurney coming straight back on the attack, which is absolutely fantastic news. We've had some messages from people around the country. We're very grateful to everyone who are sending their comments. Lionel Uyghur has written in and said, "Go Joe." I guess that's a bit of a shout out for Joe Sheppy, the junior driver. We'll focus on the cadets for the moment. Harvey Hewitt and Alfie Brooks both bigging up Callum Lockett, who is obviously making massive leaps and bounds in this championship. 10th position at the moment in qualifying, and looking pretty strong in his first race weekend of the season. Then we have a massive We have a massive big up to a few of the drivers in the field. Good luck, Charlie, love Dad. That's from Mark Bellett, who's watching home at home. And then, of course, we have Jill Gunning, who's giving a massive support to Callum Gunning. Or, of course, it could be Halvey Hewitt and Alfie Brooks who are supporting Callum Gunning. We do have two Callums on the grid. So we've got Callum Lockett in the cadets, of course, and then we have Callum Gunning later on in the juniors. We will talk about the juniors, of course, at length when they are out on the circuit. Cadets out at the moment, and as you can see, Nathan Tighe from Ella Stevens, Charlie Humphreys, Oakley Keatley, Ryan Smith and Jamie Gurney in the top 6 at the moment. From Dylan Briley, Kylan Ingram, another fast rookie is Max Fraser in the top 10, in there with Callum Lockett as well, who is showing up on my timing screens as a rookie, although he definitely isn't a rookie. He was racing in the championship for the entirety of last year. So Callum Lockett is not one of the novices. Aidan Hassan in 11th place. Then it's Craig Evans, another one who's been very strong all the way through the weekend. Then we have Jamie Scott from Ali Hussein, Archie Heron, Josh Turnbull, Lily Jeffs, Chase Sharp, Hudson Cross and Jamie Warner. That is the order as it is at the moment, with nobody setting a time longer than 56 seconds. So everybody right on the pace from the get-go. And some strong pace with 3 minutes 45 on the clock. Nathan Tighe leading the way at the moment from Ella Stevens, Charlie Humphreys, Oakley Keatley, Ryan Smith and Jamie Gurney. That's your top 6, and it's looking likely to stay that way with the way things currently are. The drivers still pushing on very hard indeed in the early phase of the race. The sun comes out to cook the circuit just a little bit hotter, and that's definitely going to improve some lap times for a few drivers. But Nathan Tighe currently has the pace at the moment in this first qualifying session of the weekend for the cadets. Nathan Tighe on a 50.473. A good improvement there from Craig Evans. Does a personal best of a 52.875. And that is his personal best. Kylan Ingram has moved up into 7th place ahead of Dylan Briley once again on a 51.289. Nathan Tighe, though, fastest of all, a 50.473, fresh out of the blocks, or as I'm going to call him from now on, Nathan Tighe, Tiny Dancer. He was there at the dummy grid just a little earlier on, warming up with a dance craze the kids are trying to teach me, which is called the floss. I haven't got a clue. I'm never going to pick it up. Anyway, Nathan Tighe, Ella Stevens and Charlie Humphreys in the top 3, and those 3 could well be the ones challenging for the championship this year, although don't count out the likes of Oakley Keatley, 9th in last year's championship and the top rookie as well. And then, of course, you can't forget Kylan Ingram and, of course, Jamie Gurney, both very fast drivers in the cadet championship, and both of them will be wanting a championship assault in 2018. It could be made easier by the fact that the reigning champion, who is here, of course, this weekend, Ella Stevens, is doing a dual campaign in the 2018 season. She's also racing in a couple of other championships as well. So you won't necessarily see her at all the rounds of the BirelART UK Series. We live in hope that she will mount a full charge for the championship again. But Ella Stevens not quite old enough to move up yet, of course, to juniors. And so continuing on in cadets as the reigning champion. But there is more to come from her, no doubt, in the 2018 season. And her best racing is still very much ahead of her. And considering she won the cadet championship last year, that's got to be a worry for the other drivers out there. The Nathan Tighe, first position at the moment from Ella Stevens, who's just done a 51.356, not running in a gaggle with other drivers at the moment, hence why her lap times are not quite what they could be at this point. But Nathan Tighe from Ella Stevens. Dylan Briley moves back up into 7th place ahead of Kylan Ingram, and Dylan Briley's time is a 51.241. So not a bad time at all from him as he finds himself firmly in the top 10 there. Max Fraser and Callum Lockett. So we've got a few of the novices in there. Hudson Cross is one of the new recruits, the number 15, one of the novices. He's actually showing up as a regular driver, but Hudson Cross is definitely one of our novices. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as the timing continues. But the leading novice at the moment is Ryan Smith, 5th position. The next of the novices is Max Fraser, also in the top 10. So good to see 2 of our rookies firmly in the top 10. Then we have Craig Evans from Ali Hussein, Jamie Scott, Hudson Cross, who is one of the rookies as well, Archie Heron, Josh Turnbull, Lily Jeffs, Chase Sharp, and Jamie Warner. Now, Chase Sharp is one to watch because he's been doing an awful lot of testing going into this season, and he was actually going to be making his debut a little later in the year, but he begged and pleaded with Father Henry and said, come on, I really want to get this done now. I want to get racing. And they said, okay, he relented. So they're going to have an absolutely brilliant time of it. So the battle is going to be very exciting as things progress. So we had some issues with the live timing this morning. Not with the live timing, my apologies, with the Alpha live stream. We're just waiting confirmation that the Alpha Live production team are now running the live stream. We're just making sure that is running. So I'll just wait for confirmation that we are back up and running again. We were getting it back in 2 minutes, by the way, folks. So just to let you know, we are getting live timing back up again, the live stream back up again in 2 minutes' time, just to keep you up to date. So for those who are listening around the circuit, the live stream will be back up again via Facebook Live in just a couple of minutes' time. So good to see all of the battling is going to be very, very exciting. But the qualifying session has come to a conclusion, and it's going to be Nathan Tighe who draws first blood. Nathan Tighe, pole position for the first race of the season, and he'll be very happy with that indeed. Nathan Tighe from Ella Stevens, Charlie Humphreys in third from Oakley Keatley, Ryan Smith, Jamie Gurney, Dylan Brierley, Kylan Ingram, Max Fraser, and Callum Lockett in the top 10. So 2 novices, 2 rookies within the top 10, and they are Ryan Smith and Max Fraser. Very good work indeed from those 2 rookies who have put in a very good performance indeed there. Then just outside the top 10, we have Aidan Hassan, Craig Evans, Ali Hussein, Jamie Scott, Lily Jeffs, Hudson Cross, Archie Heron, Joshua Turnbull, Chase Sharp, and Jamie Warner. So a really good start to the season from these guys. The grid is actually very close together. 4.5 seconds covers the entire field, which is a lot tighter than it was last year at the same point. So brilliant pace from the cadets. Obviously, a lot of those rookies who have come through the academy on the Saturday mornings throughout the season in 2017 have come through and have proven to be very quick, fresh out of the blocks. Nathan Tighe on pole position from Ella Stevens, but 4.5 seconds covers the entire cadet field. Very good news in the early stages of the season. So, pick out your favourite drivers and cheer them on. There's going to be an awful lot of social media banter, I'm sure, from the folks watching back home as the qualifying sessions are underway. And again, we're not far away from confirmation of the live stream coming back online. And once we have that confirmation, then of course we'll be able to start sharing some of those messages that you guys are sending from all across the country and all across Europe, of course, as well. A lot of people listening in via Downforce UK Radio and keeping an eye on social media from all over the country and all over Europe as well. We've got several people listening in from all over the place. So we'll keep up to date, as we always do, through the 2018 season from the BirelART UK Series paddock, the championships that I like to call the British touring cars of national karting. It's all very even. The gameplay is very, very close. And everybody is in equal equipment. The same tyres, the same engines, the same chassis, all of the same bits and pieces. So everything is absolutely perfect in terms of the race competition and the ebb and flow of competition. So we're just getting confirmation that the BirelART UK Series live stream is about to get underway.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Llandow Norris and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Llandow. It is the first round of the 2018 BirelART UK Series. Qualifying is about to get underway for the junior brigade. We have just finished qualifying for the cadets. And it should be an absolutely fantastic day at the office here from Llandow. If you are watching via the BirelART UK Series live stream, brought to us by Alpha Live, hello and good morning to you. If you're listening via Downforce UK Radio, you probably have been for the last 20 minutes or so. We've got plenty of race action to come all the way through the day. And this is going to be one heck of a showdown for the first round of the championship. We, of course, were due to start the championship 5 weeks ago at Wilton Mill, and all was going relatively wet but relatively smoothly on the Saturday. And then, of course, we had the snow intervening over the course of the Saturday night. And then, obviously, we woke up on Wilton Mill to a snow flurry around the circuit. I was the only person who got laps in that day in my Mazda 5, and there's plenty of videos going around social media of that, I'm sure. However, we are here at Llandow with a bit of a cool breeze. It's a lot hotter this time around. And, of course, we've got, yesterday we were threatening 20-degree temperatures. I'm just keeping an eye on the rain expectancy for today. We were due quite a nasty shower a little bit earlier on on this morning. However, the wind has pushed it up towards the main body of Wales itself. And it looks to me as though now any rain that was threatened to fall on the circuit is not going to fall. So that is really good news. And it looks to me as though we're going to have, according to the weather reports I've got in front of me, we've got goodoldRainToday.com. And the satellite pictures we've got have told us that the rain has been blown further into Wales. So we're not actually going to get any on the circuit here for the rest of the day, which is fantastic news. I have to say, I always like it when the first round of the season is bone dry, because then we get to see the pure pace of each of the drivers in their early season preparation to see how the season is going to progress. So we will try and make sure everything is running smoothly in time for this round of the championship, of course, and we've got the juniors getting ready to go out onto the circuit. It should be a pretty exciting battle. Several people are getting themselves ready to go out, of course, and we've got all sorts of bits and pieces happening as the drivers are now progressing into the junior session. Just a quick reminder of how things have gone in the cadet session, for those who were not able to watch along on the live stream. Nathan Tye was pole position from Ellis Stevens in second. Charlie Humphreys in third position, then Oakley Keatley in fourth from Ryan Smith and Jamie Gurney. Dylan Briley seventh from Kylan Ingram, Max Fraser and Callum Lockett. And then we have Aidan Hassan from Craig Evans, Ali Hussein, Jamie Scott, Lily Jeffs, Hudson Cross, Archie Heron, Josh Turnbull, Chase Sharp and Jamie Warner. That is the grid for the first cadet race coming later on after the qualifying session. We've got a lot of people at home who are watching bits and pieces of the day, including Gary Parmowski. Good luck, Alicia, making her debut in the junior category in 2018. Of course, she's been testing all the way through 2017, making a big song and dance about it on social media. And it's going to be very, very exciting as we battle our way through the 2018 season. But, of course, while we focus on Alicia for the first part, there's another couple of drivers worth giving a sing and song and shout about. How about Harry Graham, the leading seed, number 3? And obviously there's folks back home, Lucy Graham giving a huge shout out to Harry Graham as the season gets underway. A lot of drivers, of course, are getting an awful lot of support going into the season ahead. And, of course, there's 2 other drivers in the juniors worth keeping an eye on, as Catherine Huntley gives a big up to Scott Huntley and Louis Ross. Both of those drivers, of course, going to be absolutely fantastic. So the races are about to get underway for their junior session. They will again have 10 minutes of qualifying on the board, and after those 10 minutes... we will, of course, find our drivers on the front of the grid. And there's plenty of drivers in this field who are going to make things pretty close over the course of the weekend. Several people have been already bigging up their heroes. Good luck to Morgan Cole from Rachel Jones. Morgan Cole, of course, recently had a birthday on the Friday. We all decided to crowd around his awning yesterday and have a go on the simulator. I wasn't fastest. I wasn't far off, 0.4 of a second away from fastest. I'm quite happy with that. It doesn't prove I can race anything at all. It just proves that I'm a nerd and have a gaming simulator at home. That's all it really proves. Anyway, so the juniors continuing on and getting ready. We've got plenty of drivers getting themselves up to speed over the course of the day. It's going to be a brilliant start to proceedings here at Llandow. The sun is coming out and starting to bake the circuit to a crisp. And of course, that's going to make tyres very, very important here, because this is one of the old school circuits in British karting. It's very rough, very abrasive in places, and that will make things particularly entertaining for the drivers. They're going to have a really strong challenge over the course of the day. That is the dummy grid where the drivers are getting ready to go. Come on, Louis, Scott and Jamie, as Ben Ross, Mum, Nan and Grandad are all watching at home. And it's going to be a very interesting day for them all as they battle away for position in the first round of the championship. Here at Llandow, 5 weeks after we were due to get started, the weather kind of intervened, unfortunately, at Wilton Mill. But the green flag is about to fly at the edge of the pit lane. And as Alex waves them out of pits, they will be going out for their qualifying session. And it's going to be a really interesting day at the office for them. So well done to the few drivers from the cadets. 3 names in particular standing out of the rookies in the first qualifying session of the season in terms of raw pace. Of course, we had an impressive performance there in the early stages of the mix from Ryan Smith up there in the top 10. Also from the top 10, just getting in there, Max Fraser and Craig Evans doing a fantastic job as well in his first qualifying session in the cadets. So out onto the circuit come the juniors. First time we've seen them in action in the 2018 season, but the BirelART Junior Series is going to get underway. Now, we've got several of the seeded drivers from last year returning for the 2018 season. The leaders of those, Harry Graham, the number 3, Nicky Taylor, the number 4, the 6 is Scott Huntley, and the 9 is Toby Baldry. A lot of people are saying already that the championship could well be decided between those 4 drivers. However, don't count out some of the other drivers from last year. Zach Parkinson, 65, and the number 74, Morgan Cole, are sure to have a say in the matter. We've got the rookie in here this year, the number 80 of Lewis Berry, who will want to win the Rookies' Championship if nothing else. The 81 of Connor Stanton returns to the BirelART UK Junior season. Obviously, he was last racing in the championships in 2016 as a cadet, but he took a season off in 2017, and that definitely gives us something more to talk about. We welcome back Connor Stanton with open arms, and great to see him stepping up as a junior. Then we also have the number 90, Dylan Reed, whose ponytail is looking more and more awesome by the weekend. Then we have the 93 of Ben Gardside. The 98 of Louis Ross steps up from the Cadet Championship last year and is already hot on the pace. The 99 is another of our novices, Vijay Ramlal, who made his debut last year at Wilton Mill. Then we have the 100 of Tom Davison, who, like his colleague Harry Graham, is very much into his sim racing and gaming. He's actually one of the drivers who competes regularly in UK Dirt and UK Sim, the short oval-based motor racing leagues online, and also competes in the Formula Challenge of the Grand Prix Virtual World Championships, which of course is the league where McLaren Formula One simulator racer Rudy Van Buren came from. So there's obviously a lot of racing talent on this grid, not only in the real world but virtual as well. The 103 is back in the mix. The 103 of Connor Brown. He was a late entry for this one, but he was a rookie champion last year, and great to see him coming in full-time again in the 2018 season. And he's been right up in the top 5 all weekend, so we're getting there. Then we have the 108 of Callum Gunning. He is one of the novices for this year as well. The 114 of George Whitehouse. Then we have the 116 of Jack Rigg, the 118 of Sam Cunliffe, although he's not running as the 118 this season. He has the E-plate on his car, courtesy of the fact, of course, that he was running at Shennington in the lead of the E-plate and took the victory in that magnificent race. I'm sure many of you who are very big followers of the BirelART UK Series will have seen it last season. And then we have the action, of course, from the 123 of Joe Sheppy, the 124 of Tom Harvey, stepping up from cadets last year and again immediately on the pace. Then we have 2 more of our novices, the 125 of Alicia Parmowski and the 126 of Will Vincent. So great battles so far in the juniors as they continue to pound around. So here is the order as it stands at the moment. Callum Gunning has gone to the top of the table. One of our rookies has gone straight up to first place until Joe Sheppy shows up, and then Sheppy breaks the 45-second barrier with a 44.951. Callum Gunning in second place from Scott Huntley and Nicky Taylor. Ben Gardside into 5th. Tom Harvey's broken the top 6 into 6th position from Tom Davison, Sam Cunliffe, Harry Graham and Toby Baldry. Then it's Zach Parkinson from Connor Brown. Alicia Parmowski is 13th ahead of Louis Ross and Morgan Cole. Connor Brown shoots up to 4th position, by the way, and up to 4th now goes Toby Baldry. Behind Parmowski, we've got Louis Ross and Morgan Cole. Lewis Berry's just popped up to 13th place. Up to 7th place has come at Nicky Taylor. And then we have Dylan Reed in 17th, Jack Rigg, Vijay Ramlal, and George Whitehouse has yet to go out onto the circuit. So the 114 of George Whitehouse has yet to set a lap, although I think he is out there now, having just left the pits. So George Whitehouse will get some lap times in. Is that him down the back straight? Yes, it is. So George Whitehouse will very soon start pounding around as the battle continues. So let's see how things continue on for Joe Sheppy, who leads the way. No longer a rookie, of course. Joe Sheppy has raced in the BirelART UK Series a few times before. There's the 98 on my live stream just in front of me. 98, that is Louis Ross battling out on the road with the 80 of Lewis Berry, who is, of course, one of our novices. Several drivers competing for the Novice Championship in 2018. The likes of Lewis Berry, Vijay Ramlal, Callum Gunning, Alicia Parmowski and Will Vincent will be battling to become the top rookie in the junior category in 2018. But the main championship is going to be just as ferocious. In fact, Joe Sheppy is currently leading the times, and that's a very good start to his season. If he can leave here in this session as the fastest driver, he'll be very, very happy with that indeed. George Whitehouse now starting to get some lap times in. 1.2 seconds off the bill for his first flying lap, but I'm sure there's more to come from George Whitehouse. Now, Joe Sheppy is the fastest of all, a 44.897, and he's one of only 2 drivers to crack the 45-second barrier, and the other one is Callum Gunning, the rookie. So very good work indeed from Callum Gunning in this early stage of the race, as we've got those 2 in first and second places. So some great racing at the moment set to come here, as we've got several drivers in positions we were not expecting them to be. It's very close in the juniors, as we've always known, and there's only 1.5 seconds separating the entire field, but you've got to get the lap absolutely nailed. You've got to get the perfect setup, the perfect lap time. Otherwise, you are going to be starting a long way down the order, and several drivers from last year's top 10 are left scratching their heads at the moment. Scott Huntley comes up to 3rd position. Nicky Taylor is now 4th. Connor Brown is 5th. Harry Graham is 6th. Those 4 drivers behind Sheppy and Gunning, of course. 7th place, Toby Baldry from Ben Gartside, Dylan Reid and Thomas Harvey. Up to 8th comes Dylan Reid now, just in front of Gartside and Harvey. Sam Cunliffe, Lewis Berry, Louis Ross, Tom Davison, Zach Parkinson, Alicia Parmowski, George Whitehouse, Jack Rigg and Morgan Cole from Vijay Ramlal. 1.5 seconds from first back to 20th. Very exciting stuff in the early stages here at Llandow, with just under 3 minutes to go till the end of qualifying, so they've got to get a good lap time in. A couple of drivers choosing to work together, and you get a lot more of that in this particular championship than you would anywhere else. The rivalry in great close racing is, of course, the same as it would be in any other karting championship, but here there's a lot more friendships made as well. It's great racing, but it's also very friendly racing, as the drivers enjoy the spirit of competition as they battle away with each other, and it's great to see how they've managed to do that. Now, Nicky Taylor has moved up into 4th position. Toby Baldry and Connor Brown are in the top 6 as well. We're watching Nicky Taylor on the live stream at the moment. Sheppy, Gunning, Huntley, Taylor, Baldry, Brown, Graham, Reid, Gartside and Tom Harvey in the top 10. That man is the fastest man, Joe Sheppy, the 1-2-3, as he makes his way down the back straight. But Joe Sheppy doing a fantastic job in his first qualifying session of the season, and currently is P1. And he's only 9 thousandths of a second faster than Callum Gunning. It's very close indeed between those 2. And we're running out of laps pretty quickly. So let's see how things continue to look. And, of course, drivers are pushing very hard indeed to make sure they can get the best out of their laps. Joe Sheppy backing off a little bit. Good luck, Alicia, from Carlos Flandango, who is watching at home. Joe Sheppy, Callum Gunning, Scott Huntley, Nicky Taylor, Toby Baldry and Connor Brown. Got a couple of drivers battling away in position. Did we have a bit of an off there as Nicky Taylor was battling away for position? So very strange. I'm not entirely sure how that's all kicked off, but we've got a minute left of the session, and it looks to me as though Nicky Taylor is coming straight into the pits, as too is Joe Sheppy. So those 2 in 4th place and 1st place respectively look like they are done with a minute to go. And it looks to me as though George Whitehouse is slowing right up as well on the back straight. I'm not quite sure what George is playing at, actually. He's brought the car to a complete and total stop on the approach to the hairpin. I'm not sure you can do that, actually. But it looks to me as though George Whitehouse has got Jack Rigg just behind him on the racetrack, and Tom Davison in pursuit. Looks like he's going for one more flying lap, and that's all he's going to get, because he's going to run out of time before he gets another lap in. But it's going to be such an amazing season with the juniors. When you look all the way down the field, 0.8 of a second covering all but one of the drivers in the mix. And Vijay Ramlal is one of our rookies, so he's still getting up to speed. But fantastic stuff from the drivers in the juniors. It's going to be such a competitive season, and from one weekend to the next, we're never quite going to be sure who is going to be leading the way. So across the finish line, no major improvements for times. It looks like it's going to be Joe Sheppy in the 1:23 that is going to be pole position for the first race in the BirelART Juniors Championship in 2018. I think it's job done for Joe Sheppy by 9 thousandths of a second. Joe Sheppy finishes the first qualifying session of 2018 as P1, and he'll be very happy with that indeed. That's very well deserved for Joe Sheppy. The team working very hard indeed. I say team, that of course means family in BirelART UK Series. But the whole of the gang at Sheppy's awning working very well indeed to get his kart up to speed. And they've done it just perfectly, because he is now 9 thousandths of a second clear of the rookie, Callum Gunning, second fastest. Absolutely brilliant stuff from the juniors. They've put in an absolutely brilliant effort there in their battle for victory. But Joe Sheppy, Callum Gunning, Scott Huntley, Nicky Taylor, Toby Baldry and Connor Brown are your top 6. From Harry Graham in 7th, Dylan Reed is 8th, from Ben Gartside and Tom Harvey in the top 10. And then we have Sam Cunliffe, Lewis Berry, Louis Ross, Tom Davison, George Whitehouse, Zach Parkinson, Alicia Parmowski, Jack Rigg, Morgan Cole and Vijay Ramlal. And it's 1.5 seconds covering the entire grid. What a fantastic start to the Juniors 100 Championship season. It's so close. And to see Joe Sheppy in pole position and the rookie Callum Gunning on the front row, it is even more impressive than we thought it was going to be. That's absolutely fantastic to see them there in position. So an amazing start to proceedings here at the BirelART UK Series Juniors at Llandow. And we've got more great racing where that came from. It's great racing in front of us, but coming up next, of course, we have the all-new Super Elites with the combined Elites and Masters grid from last year. That is going to be one heck of a spectacle.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Llandow, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
So if you've just joined us, hello to everybody and welcome to Llandow. It's going to be a really exciting start to the 2018 season. We're here obviously with a brand new format in 2018, the BirelART UK Junior Series, the Cadets and of course the Elites Championship in 2018. It's all changed for the new season with the Elites because we've combined our two 125cc senior grids into one championship for the 2018 series, with the Elites having a increase in their minimum weight and the Masters having a decrease in their minimum weight to bring them all up to speed. And what this means is it's a complete minefield for the 2018 season. We have absolutely no news as to who is really going to be hot on the pace, although we have 3 factors for this year. How are the championship runners from the Elites last year going to go in the main class? The second is how the Masters will go and who will be at the sharp end. But the third one is that we've got 3 of the main competitors from the Junior Championship last year who have now come up into the Elites, having come of age to turn 16. And they are namely Tyrone Stansfield, Harry Barlow and Tom Massaralla. And all 3 of them have been relatively strong on pace over the course of testing both at Wilton Mill and here yesterday at Llandow. So it's very interesting to see how they're going to go in relation to each other. But we've got a very busy grid in the Elites, and this is going to be probably the toughest senior championship we have ever seen. So as a result of that, we're going to get some pretty incredible drivers on the starting grid. Sam Faulkner is going to run as number 1, having won the Elites Championship last year. Richard Evans, the number 2, is there obviously as well. The number 3 of Matthew Pearce, the number 4 of Ami Jurga, the 6 of Elliot Stanley, and the 8 of Jason Bradbury. Those are the seeded drivers for the 2018 season. Then we have the number 160 of Ben Hitch in there with the 166 of Carl Watt, 197 Dave Burns, and the 199 of Ben Yeomans, who of course is a regular race winner in the Masters category and won several times throughout 2017 to be runner-up in the championship by season's end. So how he'll go in the mix with the lighter drivers from the Elites as well is going to be very interesting. Then we have the 210, the sole novice in the field, and that is Solomon Patience. So we hope that Solomon has a great introduction to the BirelART BirelART UK Series. And then we have two of the Grand Masters who have been here pretty much since day one. Mark Lawrence, the number 230, is obviously gunning for the Grand Masters title, and he's very, very strong here at Llandow. But then, of course, he took a triple at Llandow a few years back, so he knows this place very well. And when we say a triple in BirelART UK Series, we mean the heat, the pre-final, and the final. In fact, he did the triple back in 2011, and it was 3 of his 6 wins in the BirelART UK Series. And in fact, he's going to hit a landmark this year, is Mark Lawrence from Scotland. He is actually going to hit the 250 race starts in the BirelART UK Series this year. When we go to Fullbeck, it is going to be his 250th race start, which is pretty incredible going, and it just proves how much he is in love with the BirelART UK Series paddock racing. It's absolutely fantastic. Not only is there him to consider in the Grandmasters category, there's also the 232 of Jim Rainbird. Jim Rainbird is going to be a strong competitor, and he is always very, very surprised by how well he does. I'm not. I've seen how brilliant he's been over the last few years. He is obviously a lot faster than he ever gives himself credit for. Then we have the 236 of Michael Roots. He is obviously going to be wanting a much stronger championship challenge than last year when he had some injuries. He actually broke a rib in one of the events over the course of the season, and then forgot to wear his rib protectors for another one of the races, I believe. I could be talking completely out of my hat here, but then we had another race at a corresponding meeting, and he ended up breaking the rib on the other side. So that was absolutely catastrophic. But hopefully this year, Michael Roots is back to full strength and full fitness, and a full championship campaign from him is definitely one you've got to be worried about, because he is one of the drivers that will be absolutely incredibly rapid from the start. Then we will also have Sam Dimolo. Everybody knows about Sam Dimolo in the BirelART UK Series. Back-to-back Masters champion in 2016 and 2017. And this year he'll be starting his 200th race in the BirelART UK Series. So again, he's one of the more veteran drivers in the championship. And of course, it's always going to be very interesting to see how well he goes compared to the lighter elites drivers. And this is the challenge that he wanted coming into the 2018 season. He was weighing up, do I go into the elites in the 2018 season? And then, of course, the challenge was kind of handed to him anyway, because it was announced that we were going to combine the two classes. And he's relishing this. Sam Dimolo is genuinely looking forward to what could be the most intense racing season of his career so far. And he's really up for it. Then we have Will Checkley in the 240, another very, very entertaining driver. He's always been very, very strong. The 18-year-old has definitely been putting in some good laps over testing, and he'll be a good one to watch this year, and hopefully he'll crack the top 6 more often than not. Dan Walden, the 241, still progressing very well with his machine, and he's getting faster and faster all the time. It's a new kart this year for the 244. That is Matt Ogle. Most people who are really into their motor racing will know Matt Ogle, as last year he was the mechanic for Lando Norris during his FIA Formula 3 campaign. So he's very much one of the established mechanics at Carlin, and he loves going home to the team and saying how good he did at the weekend, especially if he's had a good one. 245, one of our Grandmasters in the Nutmeg kart, that is Sean Port, who will be doing an absolutely fantastic job throughout the season, no doubt. He's always one of the most hard-working of drivers in terms of setup. Then we also have the 281 of George Friday. He's got massive support from all over the country, not just here at the racetracks, and everybody follows George Friday with a lot of good support and a lot of good-hearted natured banter. He's a great racer, and at Butmore Park last year in particular, he was very strong, so there's no doubting that he will be another one to watch. Matt Rainbow, the 291, he's going to have a very busy season in the 2018 season, because not only will he be racing in BirelART UK Series, he's also competing in the Ginetta GT5 Challenge, which is obviously for the Ginetta G40 sports car, which regularly runs on the same bill as British GT and Toka. So he's going to have a very interesting season, no doubt. And he's obviously got his car here with him, because he was out testing yesterday at Rockingham, and they realised they obviously had a race meeting at Llandow to do today. So they whacked the car back in the trailer that they carried around the circuit, and they just bolted the cart that he races to the door of the trailer, sealed it up, and drove here. And it's very exciting to see both cars next to each other. I'm sure there's going to be a photograph or two taken with them both side by side at some point if the sun comes out. Then we have the 282, the former E-Plate champion back in 2016, Neil Fisher. He is the 4th and last of our Grand Masters in the first round of the 2018 championship. And Neil Fisher is one of those drivers that can run at the front and dominate if he gets a good setup underneath him. He loves racing in this championship. He wouldn't race anywhere else, and he absolutely loves the seal of competition in this championship. Then we have the 285, David Darling, who's claim to fame was that he created the likes of Colin McRae Rally, Toka Touring Cars, and all of those fantastic video games that we used to play on our PlayStations. But a good 20 years ago, he was the man behind Codemasters. He now has a brand new gaming company that he's hoping to push forward, of course. But he also loves his motor racing and is so good at it. Then we have Matt Rainbow. We've already spoken about, actually. I'm not quite sure why he's ended up twice in my list. It's probably me reading it twice. I do apologise. Then we have the interesting battle from the new guys coming up onto the list. The 299 is the reigning junior champion, making his step up to the elites, and that is Tyrone Stansfield, the man from Ty Green, just outside Braintree in Essex. And he is one to keep an eye on for definite, because he has this incredible ability to just get himself right up to the front of anything. Now, there is the 300. That is Ian Williams. Now, of course, not only does he race, but he regularly finds himself holding a camera. In fact, the Alpha Live team are keeping very much good tabs on him throughout this weekend, because Ian Williams is actually one of the Alpha Live crew. So not only does he race, but he's also a cameraman. So he'll obviously be trying to give us some great shots as the weekend goes on. Then we have the 301. Now, this is Harry Barlow. Keep an eye on Harry Barlow, because he is going to be an absolute flyer this season. He will be very strong for definite. He's got an awful lot of support from all around the country. Just as I say that, a nice message there from Emma Barlow. Good luck, Harry. Love us lot. I'm sure he knows who that's in relation to. But Harry Barlow's having a very hectic season in 2018. Not only is he continuing on his BirelART UK Series journey, having been vice champion in the Junior Series last year and now stepping up to the elites, he's also racing in the Army X30 European Series for Thule Motorsport, and did an absolutely cracking job at Sal Breeze last month. So he's got a busy year on his plate. Then we have the 302, another of his colleagues last year. In fact, we're watching the 302 if you're looking on the live stream. That is Tom Massaralla, who broke the top step of the podium through the course of last year in the juniors and is a regular front runner in the junior category. At least he was in 2017. Now he's stepping up to the big time in the senior category in 2018. And that's going to be really interesting to see how he goes. So qualifying is well underway, as you can tell. And obviously we're ticking down the time here in the Super Elites, and the first flying lap out of the blocks is from Richard Evans, who does a 44.755. Now, Richard Evans didn't actually run yesterday in testing. He only arrived here yesterday, so this is his first competitive running of the weekend. Bear that in mind when you suddenly realise just how fast Richard Evans is out of the blocks. That is brilliant stuff. So straight up to the top. So let's see how the drivers are going to progress as the lap times start coming in big time now. Richard Evans goes up to the top. Ben Hitch has come up to the front as well. So a good start for Ben Hitch, as he has gone second fastest from Tom Massaralla and Dan Walden. Ian Williams is right up into fifth position with Tyrone Stansfield there in sixth place. Then we have Neil Fisher, the Fish as he's known. Mark Lawrence in eighth place. Carl Watt and David Darling. And then we have Matt Rainbow. Oh, Mark Lawrence has gone up into seventh place, though. Matt Rainbow is 11th from the new boy Solomon Patience. Then Harry Barlow, Matt Ogle, Elliot Stanley is displaced by Matthew Pearce, Sean Port, Sam Faulkner, Dave Burns and Ami Jurger. Now, keep an eye on Matthew Pearce, because he was fastest of all yesterday. He's not had the fastest of starts, but he will get a lot faster than that, as Sam Faulkner, reigning elites champion, goes up to the top step. We were not going to be too surprised by this, but Massaralla second and Stansfield third is really exciting to see, because those two were battling in the junior category last year, and now they are at the front end of the elites. That's brilliant stuff. So Faulkner, Massaralla, Stansfield, Walden in fourth place. Great work from Dan Walden. Then it's Richard Evans, Ben Hitch in sixth place from Harry Barlow, Ian Williams, Mark Lawrence and the Fish, Neil Fisher. So out onto the circuit come the likes of Sam Dimolo and Jason Bradbury. It's a very busy grid, this one, of course. We've got several drivers still making their way out onto the circuit. 24 of them out on track. Make that 25, because the last man out is going to be Michael Roots. There goes Michael Roots out onto the circuit. So the drivers making their way out onto the circuit, doing their qualifying laps. Do please send us your Q&As. We will answer as many questions as we can over the course of the day. The first question comes in from Chris Taylor. Is this the only senior class? And how many? I'm guessing that's how many are entered. Well, yes, this year the 2018 championship has amalgamated the two senior classes for Super Elites and Super Masters into one championship. And as a result of that, we've got 25 on the grid. It is the most subscribed grid in the 2018 season. And it's very close indeed from the front end to the back. They have increased the weight for the Super Elites and they have decreased the weight in the Super Masters. So it levels out. So a lot of the Super Masters drivers have actually been spending most of their winter in the gym trying to drop a few kilos to get themselves on the same level as these lightweight whippersnappers who are 16, 17, 18, 19. And it has been a very interesting off-season trying to predict who is going to be at the sharp end. Matthew Pearce comes straight up into second position with a time just 0.142 off of Sam Faulkner's best. We expected this. We knew that there was going to be a good battle between these two. Matthew Pearce is absolutely adamant that 2018 is not going to be a year of misfortune. He is going to win, so he is going to push it absolutely to the death. So it's Faulkner, Pearce, Massarella, Stansfield, Evans, Barlow, Walden, Hitch, Fisher and Yeomans. So Yeomans with his first flying lap has come into the top 10. Ian Williams is there in 11th from Mark Lawrence. Sam Dimolo has only just got started. He's there in 13th from Jim Rainbird. Make that now the top 10 because Dimolo's come up to 9th. Roots with his first flying lap has come up to 6th. So a really good start to the proceedings from Michael Roots. These guys are just going to get faster, by the way. And look at that, 25 karts separated by 1.6 seconds. That is why we were excited about putting these two classes together, because it's going to create some of the most incredible, spicy, magnificent, terrific racing. And even in the qualifying, it's fever pitch. Faulkner, Pearce, Massarella, Stansfield, Yeomans up to 5th now from Evans. Then Roots, Barlow, Walden and Sam Dimolo rounding out the top 10. He's half a second off the pace of Sam Faulkner, but he wanted this challenge. He was absolutely itching to get into the elites class. Now we've amalgamated the two classes. He's now got the challenge of beating the guys he races with anyway, and the drivers in the elites, plus a few new juniors that have come of age in Tyrone Stansfield, Harry Barlow and Tom Massarella. So this is probably going to be the hardest year of elite racing at senior level in the BirelART UK Series that we have ever seen. Matthew Pearce trying to get a faster lap in, hasn't quite managed it. Sam Faulkner, 44.091, and I think he has pulled it into the pits already. So Faulkner, I think, is pretty much done and dusted. He's done 4 laps, and I haven't seen him do any more of late. So he's done 4 laps and come straight into the pits, I think. There's the 4. That, of course, belongs to Amy Jurga. Amy Jurga, when she's not racing, she's earning her keep working at Silverstone and obviously studying at the Silverstone University Technical College. And was a race winner last year. She grabbed the final victory, if you remember, last year at Shennington, the first time we visited there in the April meeting. So Amy Jurgen knows how to win when she's got a good kart underneath her. This is an added challenge, though, for the 2018 season, and she hasn't actually sat in the kart since the end of last season, if you don't count Wilton Mills. So Amy Jurgen's obviously had to work very hard to get back up to speed, and it's a much tougher challenge in 2018 than it ever was in 2017, and it was a tough challenge then. So do not belie the fact that Amy Jurga is in 21st position and come to the conclusion that she's not as good as the others at the front. She is a race winner, but it's so hard in the 2018 season to know who's going to be at the sharp end. All these different minimum weight adjustments and the changes of balance, and of course drivers are working very hard to gain ground anyway. If you have a single error of any kind in terms of mechanical or grip or anything like that, then it's going to compromise you for the rest of the weekend. So this season is going to be very intense, very close indeed. So now we've got Faulkner, Pearce, Massarella, Stansfield, Yeomans, Evans, Roots, Barlow, Walden and Dimolo from Ben Hitch, Fisher, Rainbird, Lawrence, Williams, Bradbury in 16th place, George Friday, Elliot Stanley, Matt Ogle, Sean Paul, Amy Jurga, Matt Rainbow, Dave Burns, David Darling, Carl Watt and Solomon Patience. That's all 26 of them out there on the circuit. I apologise, I thought it was 25, it is 26. So there is Sam Dimolo, if you're watching on the live stream. Double champion, 2016 and 2017 in the Grand Masters, in the Super Masters, sorry. He'll be very insulted if I say he was Grand Masters champion. That's for drivers of a certain age, and Sam Dimolo isn't quite that old yet, although, let's be fair, his beard growth is very ZZ Top. But Sam Dimolo going for the championship again in 2018 in the Super Elites, and he is relishing the challenge of this season. He wanted to go into the Super Elites anyway, so the fact that they've put those two classes together to create a super grid of 26 drivers is definitely a big challenge. However, the first qualifying session of the season finds him in the top top 10, but not at the front end. A few seconds to go. A lot of the drivers have already pulled into the pits for the end of their qualifying session. This tends to happen a lot in the seniors. They don't tend to spend as much time pounding around the laps in qualifying as the cadets and juniors do, and it tends to be the trend in senior karting anyway. So they'll put in the best laps they feel they can do, and then if the session hasn't ended, but they've done enough, they won't stay out, they will come in. So we're going to see a few drivers potentially changing positions towards the end, but I think it's going to be as things currently stand. Sam Dimelo is still out there trying to gain a bit more of an advantage. He's half a second back from Sam Faulkner, and that finds him in 10th position. So Faulkner, it looks like he's going to be on top. Dimelo comes across the line. The checkered flag is his, and he does not improve. So it is going to be Sam Faulkner on pole position. Matthew Pearce is second from Tom Massarella, Tyrone Stansfield, Ben Yeomans, Richard Evans, Michael Roots, Harry Barlow, Dan Walden and Sam Dimelo, with Ben Hitch in 11th place in front of Neil Fisher. Jim Rainbird is 13th ahead of Mark Lawrence. Then it's Ian Williams, Jason Bradbury, George Friday, Elliot Stanley, Matt Ogle, Sean Port, Ami Jurger, and then the last five are Matt Rainbow, Dave Burns, David Darling, Carl Watt and Solomon Patience. The entire grid separated by 1.5 seconds. Absolutely superb. Well, that is qualifying done and dusted for the day. So we go straight in now to the first of our races. We'll start with the cadets, the juniors and super elites, and then we'll just run around again. A heat, a pre-final and a final. 3 races per class. And the winner of the final will obviously get the first trophies of the day.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Llandow Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
So if you've just joined us, hello to you. Welcome to the BirelART UK Series, live from Llandow. We've got 3 very incredible classes to come over the course of the day. And obviously with these 3 different classes in the 2018 season, we have the cadets, juniors and senior classes in each of the 3 grids. And it's going to be a pretty exciting battle for each of these championships over the course of the 2018 season, especially with things being so close as we start the season. It is going to be a tough one for all of the drivers to get up to speed. But of course, with the Alpha live stream continuing on over the course of the day, and of course we've got video updates as well from UK Radio. We're going to keep up to date with things as they happen. And it's going to be a really exciting battle as the championship gets underway. I have a slight feeling, I do apologise for the audio problems, I have a feeling that my mic is starting to cry wolf. So if you'll bear with me just a moment, we will get it changed over. I tell you what, I'm just having to walk. I was heading all the way over to the pit lane, and now I'm having to walk all the way back again. It's great, this, isn't it? I'm going to get my miles in over the course of the day. That's a bit better, isn't it? Cool. That's the first time in history anyone's ever been able to shut me up. Anyway, making the way back down over to the dummy grid now so that we can try and grab a quick word with our cadets before they get going. I'm not sure we'll have time now, but hey, I need to lose some weight. I'll keep fit by walking around, trying to see if I can grab a word with people as they get themselves ready for the action. So our Elite Championship has come to the Elite's qualifying session is done and dusted for this particular season. Now the drivers have just come out of the Super Elites qualifying, just having a look at the names on the timing screens. Our cadets are all suited up and are ready to go. So I think what we'll have to do is try and figure out how many minutes have we got till we're sent out. I think we've still got a couple of minutes left, haven't we? So we'll see if we can get 6 minutes. So we've got time to go and speak to a few of the drivers down here on the dummy grid. So let's see if we can have a word with a few of them. Well, I think first of all, we should speak to our man at the very front of the grid, Nathan Ty. Practicing your floss?
Yeah, practicing for a long time, only just been able to do it though.
You've only just got it sorted, haven't you? I still can't do it. How's your speed, Gil? It's looking pretty good out there at the moment.
I think we've got a good chance of doing well today. The car's going really well. Been really consistent this weekend so far.
Fantastic. So hopefully there's at least one, but potentially even 2 or 3 wins today.
Hopefully.
Okay, good job. Have a good one. So that is Nathan Ty from the front of the grid. Let's see who else we can have a quick word to. I like to shuffle it up and not just focus on all of the rows of the grid. Let's have a quick word with Jamie Gurney. Jamie, tough start yesterday, but the car is looking so much faster today. That's much better.
Yeah, I think our tyres yesterday were completely busted and these ones are a lot better.
So now that you're back in the sharp end of the field where you belong, do you think that there's a good chance to crack the top 3 today?
Yeah, good chance.
Good man. Well, let's hope you do it. Have a good one. So it's Jamie Gurney. Let's see who else we can... Sorry? Novice. Novices, yeah. We'll go for the leading novice. That's a very good idea. Let's have a quick word with our man at the sharp end. I have to say, first race out of the blocks, Mr. 57. You've done an absolutely cracking job.
Thanks.
So what's the game plan from here? Can you push even further forward?
I'll try to.
So what part of the circuit are you really favouring? What's your favourite part of the track?
The final band.
You really like Raymond's. A lot of drivers really struggle there. How are you finding it?
Quite good.
Awesome. Okay, let's light them up. Good job. Actually, while we're talking about novices, we should probably have a chat with the other novice in the top 10 as well, who's making his debut this weekend, Max Fraser. That's not bad, is it? Top 10, first time out. That's exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, it is.
So what's the game plan from here? You're obviously in the middle of the pack. What's your strategy?
To try and overtake first novice.
Okay, sounding like good. Okay, so you've got a couple of places to make up. Good job. Keep it up. So the cadets working very well. A few drivers now just getting into the zone. Let's have a quick word with Callum, actually. Callum Lockett, one of our easily the most improved driver over the last 12 months. Callum, great to see you at the sharp end, mate. Things are looking good.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk us through how you've made the changes from last year to this year, where all that speed has come from.
Not braking so hard into the corners and just trying to follow and carry on.
Fantastic. So now that you're in this position, you've not got too many in front of you. How are things looking?
Good.
Okay. Have a good day then. Have a good one at the office. So we're still working on the media strategy of these cadets. They're getting there, though. There are some chatty ones. And I think if I start getting into their mindset a little bit more before the start, it's going to start to get to them. So we'll leave them to it and get them ready for the start of the race. But what a fantastic grid of cadets we've got this year. 1.5 seconds from the front, well, 4.5 seconds, sorry, from the front to the back. And plenty of drivers with a great chance to go for the victory. I can see at least 12 people in the top 12 who have the chance to win the race at the end of the day today. So great work from the cadets, and they are looking absolutely resplendent this year, with some amazing colour schemes. That's one of the other things I like. Although we've got the BirelART colours, of course, up and down the grid, a lot of drivers decide that they want their own spin on things in the way that their karts look. And there are some great colour schemes, in particular Craig Evans' new machine, the number 98 with the squad blue and white livery. Looks very, very cool. And obviously we've got Max Fraser's car. They've got their own team livery, the Fraybro Racing colours. You're going to see 2 of those over the course of the year because, of course, we've got Jake Fraser turning up a little bit later in the season as well, making his debut at fullback. And all the way up and down the grid, we've got some very cool colour schemes. Obviously, that beautiful green, black and white and silver of Aiden Hassan's, the number 55, always looks good. Just behind him as well, Ali Hussein's car looks absolutely mega as he gets himself underway from the 7th row of the grid. And even Lily Jeffs, the number 54, that purple and yellow colour scheme looks absolutely superb. There's a lot of great colours up and down this grid in the cadets. Always really good to see. And we're going to get some great racing from these guys, no doubt. The cadets always give us good value. And they'll do it 3 times over the course of the day. For the heat, the pre-final and then the final. With great racing from the cadets, pretty much guaranteed. So over the course of the day, I will do my best to try and grab as many drivers to speak to as humanly possible. But I do apologise in advance, because obviously these guys have got racing to do. I don't want to step on people's toes just to go and grab an interview, especially considering I haven't got somebody of the intelligence or wit of Chris McCarthy or Alex Goldschmidt or Martin Brundle, Ted Kravitz or anyone like that to run up and down the pit lane. I can't do it that fast. So I'll do my best to grab whoever I can. So, for the very first time in 2018, it is time to get racing underway in the BirelART UK Series paddock. The green flag waves and the cadets go out onto the circuit. So it's going to be a very exciting day at the office for several drivers, some of them, of course, making their debuts in the 2018 season. And we've got a really exciting grid ahead of us. We've got Nathan Tye, Charlie Humphreys, Ella Stevens and Oakley Keatley towards the sharp end. So let's talk you through the starting grid at the front end of the grid. Hopefully we'll get our grid graphic up as they go round on their rolling laps so that we can see who is in which position around this rolling lap. Unless we've already seen it. Oh yeah, there it is. I thought it would get there eventually. So Nathan Tye and Ella Stevens, two of the title contenders last year, and we'll file up on the grid once again. Charlie Humphreys and Oakley Keatley alongside on the second row of the grid. On the third is Jamie Gurney, starting alongside the rookie Ryan Smith. And then, of course, we also have Dylan Briley in there on the fourth row of the starting grid alongside Kylan Ingram. Then we have the rookie Max Fraser alongside Callum Lockett. And then it's Hassan, Evans. Then we have Hussein and the 49 making their way to the start. Here we go. And is it going to be a clean start? Yes, it is. We are racing. Cracking start from the first row of the grid. Nathan Tye pops into the lead of the race. Ella Stevens in second place. Good start in there as well as the rest of the field continues to motor their way around the circuit. They disappear from my view, but fortunately I have the live stream to talk me round. There is the man in front. No problems at all for Nathan Tye at the front end of the field. Charlie Humphreys has knotted his way into third position behind Ella Stevens. Fourth place, the 9 of Oakley Keatley. Right up at the sharp end, exactly where he needs to be. They make their way up towards the chicane at the Dell. Into the right, the left. Plenty of speed out of the right-hander to get you back onto the hanger straight. And it's a cracking start to the race from Nathan Tye, who's broken clear just a couple of kart lengths from Ella Stevens, but Charlie Humphreys is closing in big style. They go into Raymond's for the first time, and it's a cracking lead. Tye, Stevens, Humphreys, Keatley. Fifth is Jamie Gurney in front of the rookie, the 57 Ryan Smith. Dylan Briley's right in there having a crack. But Ryan Smith right in there in the top 6. Great work from him. Briley 7th. Then it's Fraser, Ingram, Hassan, Lockett, Evans, Scott, Jeffs, Heron, Cross, Sharp, Turnbull, Warner and Hussein. So Hussein was the only one who had a little bit of an off there on the first lap. So he will obviously be making up progress, but his speed in qualifying suggests that he should have a pretty good go of it. But how about this? The star turn at the moment in the top 6 is Ryan Smith, doing an absolutely fantastic job in the top 6 as he battles away for the first weekend of the 2018 BirelART UK Series cadet season. And he's right in there, hunting down Jamie Gurney. Can he make the move into Raymond's for the first time? No, he thinks better of it. He's got plenty of time. But Ella Stevens has got Charlie Humphreys breathing down her neck at the moment. 6 minutes and 15 on the clock. And it's going to be a tough battle from here on in. The drivers still working very hard around the circuit. Nathan Tye, Stevens, Humphreys, Keatley, Gurney, Smith, Briley, Fraser, Ingram, Hassan, Scott, Jeffs, Evans, Heron and Cross. So it looks as though we've had a bit of an incident on the last lap. I didn't see that, unfortunately, but Callum Lockett has dropped back now to 19th position, just in front of Hussein. But it's a long race for these cadets, the first heat, and it will obviously give drivers a good chance to battle away for position. Up through the Dell once again. Nathan Tye having a great run, and it looks as though Jamie Gurney's under some massive pressure from Ryan Smith. Dylan Briley in there as well in 7th position, trying to close up. And the other rookie in the contingent, Max Fraser, has got himself right up in there as well. So this could be a very close battle. But Tye, Stevens, Humphreys, Keatley, Gurney, Smith, Briley and Max Fraser in the top 8. Kylan Ingram is struggling a little bit to hold on to them at the moment, but he is still there in the mix in the top 10. Leading the charge behind them, we've got Jamie Scott leading the rookies battle. Lily Jeffs is in there as well, up to 12th place now from Craig Evans and Archie Heron. Hudson Cross 15th from Turnbull, Sharp, Warner, Lockett and Hussein. So really good battle this is at the moment, but Nathan Tye is hanging on to the lead from Ellis Stevens, who's gaining the ground just a little by little up towards the Dell. Looks like Ryan Smith's going to have a bit of a go at Jamie Gurney, and he's going to need to because he's got Dylan Briley and Max Fraser close in behind. So if he's going to make the overtake, it needs to be into Raymond's this time, really, because he's going to have some pressure from Dylan Briley to get the same move done. Not quite enough space to get it done this time, but there is Dylan Briley breathing down his neck, hoping for a good shot at things. Still no change in the top three. It's a very clean start to the season from the cadets as they continue to battle away. Great spirits from the drivers as well as they continue to battle. The battle further back is a good one too. This is Jamie Scott hanging on to the 98 now of Craig Evans, having made his way past Lily Jeffs. And then we've got Archie Heron in the mix as well. Heron's a pretty quick character as well, so he will want to try and get a good battle in there. Lily Jeffs going for Evans. Evans drifts a little bit wide. Jeffs trying to come up alongside. Not quite going to make the move on the inside that time by. But the leaders are coming back onto the hangar straight, and it looks to me as though there could be a challenge from Charlie Humphreys to get up into second position on Ellis Stevens. Hasn't quite got close enough yet. Here comes the move from Smith. Smith is going to get up the inside of Jamie Gurney into Raymonds, and he's there. Can he shut the door on the exit? Yes, he can, but it's going to be 3 wide on the exit. Gurney's still going to be alongside him. Gurney pops back onto the inside, and that is how to go battling in the cadets. Good work from Gurney to hang on there, but great gusto from Ryan Smith to get himself in the mix. Dylan Briley almost got through as well, so good defensive. Now Briley is going to go for the move on the inside. Smith is going to have to drift out wide to hold Briley at bay, and that's great defensive work from Ryan Smith. Terrific stuff there to hang on to the place, but it looks to me as though Briley is still going to have a challenge. And as he goes again, Ryan Smith shuts the door once more. Good driving, and Dylan Briley's actually dropped behind Max Fraser in a result of that. So Fraser is there in 7th place. Good work from Fraser too. Now here they come down the hangar straight. The leaders still very tightly bunched together. Humphreys is working closely onto the back of Ellis Stevens. Not quite ready to go for the overtake, but definitely setting her up for a challenge with just under 3 minutes to go. Into the hook. Right, left, right, then dropping down the bomber straight. And this is where they're going to get a good opportunity. Several lines into Surtees. You've got to time it just right. Ty's looking good in front of Stevens. Stevens is putting the pressure on him, though, because Charlie Humphreys is closing in, and Ellis Stevens knows that there's going to be a real challenge from Nathan Tye if things continue on the way they go. Oh, there's a great battle further back as we've got the 100 now leading the charge. That's Hudson Cross in with the likes of Ali Hussein, Callum Lockett, Chase Sharp, Josh Turnbull and Jamie Warner. Even at the tail end of the field, there's a great battle in this cadet championship. There always is. They always battle from the front to the back. Now we've got this battle behind the 4th place man, Oakley Keatley. Keatley is kind of in no man's land here in 4th position, really, because he's dropped off the leaders, but he's got space on the 5th place battle. Now, if those 4 start working together, I know there's only 2 minutes to go, but if they work together, they could catch Oakley Keatley, and one of them could be lucky enough to pop up into 4th position, so it could happen for them. Further back, the rookies are having a sensational squabble. Craig Evans has just gone to the front of that little train with the 49 in there of Jamie Scott. Lily Jeffs and Archie Heron. They're having a great squabble, those 4. But the battle for 5th position is getting quite tight. Jamie Gurney hanging on to his advantage in front of Ryan Smith, Max Fraser and Dylan Briley as they squabble over 5th place, trying to close up on Oakley Keatley at the same time. But the man who looks like he's got the biggest threat out of this looks to me like it's going to be Ryan Smith, and Dylan Briley has got past Max Fraser on this lap. Now Briley's going for 6th place. Can he make the move on Smith? No, he has to back out of it. Into Raymonds, but Dylan Briley definitely making some good moves here as he gets up into 7th place once again. And it looks to me as though Ryan Smith trying to edge Jamie Gurney away from the train. But they're running out of time. They're going to have to start doing something pretty spectacular. Briley tries to make the move on the inside of Smith and nearly loses the place to Max Fraser. That was brave from Dylan Briley, but he wasn't quite in a position to make the move stick. But good work to get himself back in a position. Great battles everywhere you look. So just behind this, we've got the 9th place man, Kylan Ingram, in front of Aidan Hassan. Then it is that squabble for 11th between Evans, Scott, Heron and Jeffs. Then it is Ali Hussein from Hudson Cross, Callum Lockett, Chase Sharp, Josh Turnbull and Jamie Warner. Great racing from them. And Ellis Stevens has caught right up to the back of Nathan Tye, and I think it's going to be the penultimate lap this time by. We've got 20 seconds on the clock, so it's going to be this lap and then the next one. So Ellis Stevens has got away from Charlie Humphreys. Now she's going to want to try and make the move to get past Nathan Tye, but Nathan Tye is a tough nut to crack. He will not give Ellis Stevens the space that she craves. So she's going to have to work very hard indeed and pull something out of the bag here to get past Nathan Ty. Ty's been working very hard all weekend. Can Ella Stevens get there? She is the reigning champion. She's got plenty of pressure on her shoulders to prove that she's still the top dog. But she's got to work hard to get there. Through the left and through the right. Back onto the hanger straight once again. Ella Stevens close, but not close enough to get the move. That's the important thing. Meanwhile, further back, Dylan Briley has got into 6th place. Dylan Briley's made the move to get into P6 with a cracking bit of overtaking, and now trying to make the way past onto the back of Jamie Gurney for 5th position. Briley's looking really strong out of Raymond's. Almost gets alongside Gurney out of the turn. So this is great racing. But now Nathan Ty is in defence mode, trying to stop Ella Stevens coming through to take the lead. Nathan Ty continues to defend. Ella Stevens has been here time and time and time again, trying to steal a victory on the last lap, but she's done it so often. Can she do it this time here at Llandow as they make their way towards that tight right-hander? Up towards the Spitfire straight now, and Ella Stevens is right in there at the Dell. Right, left, right onto the hanger straight. She's only going to have one chance of the overtaking move, and Nathan Ty's being ultra defensive down to Raymond's. Is this going to be a victory for Nathan Ty? He hangs on in there in the final hairpin. Ella Stevens is going to get the undercut. They're going to be side by side for the line. Ella Stevens is going to get there. Oh, magnificent. Terrific. Stevens gets there by .011. The first overtaking move from Stevens, and she does it on the line. Superb! Humphreys is 3rd, Keatley is 4th. From Gurney, Fraser in the end up to 6th place to lead the rookie charge. Briley in 7th. From Ryan Smith in 8th place. Then it's Ingram and Hassan. Evans is going to come home as the winner of the rookie battle further back. Then it's Archie Heron who gets up to 12th place. Great work from him. Jamie Scott and Lily Jeffs in there as well. And then it's to the line between Hussein and Lockett as they battle home. Then it's going to be the 100, I think. No, it's the 83. Josh Turnbull has come through on the last lap. Then it's Hudson Cross, the 85 of Chase Sharp, and then Jamie Warner in 20th place. My goodness, what a race to start the day. The cadets going right to the finish line, at the line. That was Ella Stevens' first opportunity to go for the move, and she took it by .011. What a start to the season. There we go then. Ella Stevens is your race winner from Nathan Ty, Charlie Humphreys, Oakley Keatley, Jamie Gurney, Max Fraser, Dylan Briley, Ryan Smith, and then the top 10 is rounded out by Kylan Ingram and Aidan Hassan. Your leading rookie is Max Fraser, but the race result gives Ella Stevens her first victory in her title defence. Amazing stuff here to start the day at Llandow.
Hi, I'm Tom Ingram and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Llandow Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Whew! What a way to start the weekend. That was absolutely amazing. First race, first run to the finish line, wheel to wheel. Absolutely amazing stuff. So the cadet race finishes with Ella Stevens battling with Nathan Ty right to the line. And both of them have done an absolutely brilliant job up to that point. But out of the final turn, Ella Stevens taking full advantage of Nathan Ty defending and managed to get her way past by .011 right the way to the finish line. Absolutely incredible. Great racing to start the action here at Llandow. I tell you what, the South Wales Karting Centre has definitely given us some great action to start the weekend. And that was an absolutely cracking race to the finish line. So now we move on to the juniors. They're all sat here ready to go, and it's going to be a really interesting battle for the first race of the season. Let's have a word with the two drivers on the front row, and it's going to be an interesting one for Joe Sheppy. Pole position. Joe, what was your reaction when you came in and realised nobody had beaten you?
I was really surprised. I didn't think I'd get pole.
So now you're here in position. What's the game plan? Because obviously this has taken you a bit by surprise. What's the strategy from here?
Just try and keep in front, come to the last lap, just defend it.
Do you think there's going to be any point on the circuit where you really have a bit of advantage over everyone else? Can you see somewhere where you feel really comfortable?
Probably the last chicane.
Awesome. Okay, well, have a good race out there, Joe. Bring it home. Good luck. So that's Joe Sheppy on the front row of the grid. Alongside is Callum Gunning, and having had a fantastic qualifying. Callum, you are grinning from ear to ear. What a great way to start the weekend.
Yeah, really good start to the weekend. Enjoying it so far.
So where are you feeling particularly comfortable at this circuit? What do you like about it?
Don't know, I just like everything about the circuit. It's a nice flowing circuit and I really enjoy it.
Okay, so obviously there's going to be a few big names behind you from last year's championship, but you're coming straight in to prove you can win straight out of the blocks. How are you going to get past him?
Not sure yet. See what happens.
I like it. Keeping the cards close to the chest. Well done, Callum. Right, there's a few others out here across the grid. We've got drivers we speak to pretty much every week. There's Scott Hundley and Nikki Taylor on the second row of the grid. We'll try and work our way through the field. Let's have a quick word with Dylan Reid. We don't get to talk to you very often, Dylan, because you don't usually get here till about Saturday night, but straight out the blocks and straight out the front end, that's not bad.
No, it's not that bad, but, it's just got to keep pushing. I kind of use this as a Saturday, unfortunately, so, got to keep pushing, getting faster and faster and faster, and hopefully I'll be up with them eventually.
There's a few drivers who have obviously moved up, so that gives you a good opportunity of several drivers to move forward. Do you think this is the year you can regularly crack the top three?
Maybe. We'll see how it goes, though.
Sounds good. Keep optimistic, Dylan. Good job. So who else can we talk to? Let's talk to the man who's just stepped up from cadets and has already got himself into the top 10. Tom Harvey. It's a really close grid here in juniors, but you're already at the sharp end. That's already quite a good mission completed, I guess.
I guess so. I mean, I'll take a top 10. Hopefully I can just stay there for the start and, for this race and just not crash and just hopefully have a good race, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I am only 3 tenths off pole man, so should be pretty close in the race.
And you're used to close battles, of course, in the cadets from last year, but now you're going to have to do the same thing with 40 more CC. How do you think that's going to work?
Interesting. I think I've got used to the speed and stuff now, so it should be all right.
Fantastic. Well, good luck and have a great race.
Thanks.
So there we go, Tom Harvey there. Let's see you a little bit further back and see if we can talk to a few of the new drivers. One of the rookies on the grid, and the highest rookie, in fact, Lewis Berry. Lewis, great to see you at this end of the grid already. It didn't take you too long.
No, we struggled a bit yesterday, and I'm quite happy to be 12th on the grid.
So obviously this is a circuit where there's plenty of good overtaking opportunities. Have you already identified a few places where you could nab 2 or 3 of them up there?
Down the back straight, just before the finish line.
Obviously, Ellis Stevens has just proven, you can take it second place the whole race and then just snatch it on the line. Is that what you're hoping to do?
Yeah.
Okay, good luck, Lewis. Have a good one. Great to see so many top quality drivers. Let's see who else we got. The karts look so good this year, to be fair. So good. I tell you what, let's have a quick word with one of the other drivers who stepped up from cadets, Louis Ross. Louis, straight in there in the 2018 season and already at the sharp end. You happy with what's going on so far?
Yeah, I think we're going to have a good weekend, but really nervous about the first race. Never been in a grid like this, so hope everyone does well and see how it goes.
It's obviously very easy to talk about the fact that, as a cadet you were really strong at the sharp end, but you have to come in and establish yourself. What's the target for this year?
Top 10. That's it.
That's all there is. Okay, well, good job, Louis, and hope you keep it up.
Thank you.
Awesome. We've got a few more drivers. I think we've just about got time for one more, I reckon. So we'll try and grab one more driver. It's Alicia Parmowski, another one of our novices on the grid. Alicia, good to see you here. Obviously, it's very, very close in this championship, but you're within a second, so that's the best you can hope for at this point.
Yeah, ideally I would have liked more, but at the end of the day I'm only 7 tenths off pole, so it's just so close, so anything can happen.
And obviously, as you get better with the kart, as you get better with the grid, you'll get to know your opposition better. So through the course of the season, we'll probably see you moving forward as you go.
Hopefully, yeah. It's my first time at this track, so a new track for me, and same with a few more rounds this season, so see what happens. Thank you.
No problem at all. Have a good one. It's a really competitive junior grid this year. I genuinely am absolutely speechless in terms of looking from this end to the grid all the way to the front. There's about a second and a half between everybody. It's absolutely incredible and great to see such a close-knit grid. So we're going to see some great drivers out here in the juniors in 2018. It's interesting because we've got 2 juniors from last year who are watching on. I think Morgan Cole stitched you up, Tyrone Stansfield. He said, go on, have a chat to him. Do you miss these guys?
I guess, yeah.
You've got a harder challenge, though, obviously, in the Elites coming up. How are you feeling after your first qualifying?
Well, P4 is quite strong, so I'm just looking forward to the race, trying to get through that first bend, which is going to be hard, but I always push as hard as I can.
So come on, you raced against these guys. Looking at the starting order, who do you tip for the victory? This is where you lose a friend. You do understand that?
I'm not sure really. Everyone's quick, so it's anyone's game. So.
Oh, he's very good at losing friends. Well done, Tyrone. Thank you very much. I'll catch up with you later. Yeah, never ever tie your colours to the mast, especially when you've got loads of friends on the starting grid. Well done. Oh, learned well, isn't it? Right, the whistle goes. So it's time to back to the commentary box and get myself ready for the start. But it's Joe Sheppy and Callum Gunning from the front row of the starting grid, and that's going to be really exciting. So as those two will start the charge from the front row of the grid, and both of them look genuinely surprised that they have come through. I mentioned earlier that Callum Gunning was a rookie. I have to now correct myself and state that he isn't a rookie because, of course, he has raced in the BirelART UK Series before. So apologies. But now they head out onto the circuit. Joe Sheppy and Callum Gunning from the front of the grid with Harry Graham and Nicky Taylor chasing in pursuit. What a magnificent start to the season it is. Let's go through the grid. So, Joe Sheppy and Callum Gunning on the front row of the grid, separated by 9 thousandths of a second. Scott Huntley and Nicky Taylor on that second row of the grid. Toby Baldry and Connor Brown are on the third row from Harry Graham and Dylan Reid. Then Ben Gardside and Tom Harvey rounding out the top 10. And this is going to be a really exciting battle. The drivers doing an amazing job in this first part of the season. But what a sensational battle it's going to be. Even outside the top 10, the likes of Cunliffe and Berry are going to be strong. Louis Ross and Tom Davison, George Whitehouse and Zach Parkinson, but they are at Raymond's, so it's time to get started. So who will take the first junior race of the 2018 season? We're about to find out, and we are racing! Cracking start from Sheppy. Gunning's going to try and put himself into the first position, though, as they work their way through the hook. They're still side by side, and what a great move from Gunning! Gunning takes the lead! Oh, Gunning held it on the outside line through the hook, and Gunning now holds the lead of the race. What a terrific start. That was absolutely superb. Not many drivers would have the nerve and the steely wit to hold it round the outside of the hook, but he has done so. Callum Gunning has got himself absolutely into a top position. That is amazing. Into the lead of the race. Sheppy there in second place. Scott Huntley's come through in third position. Down the straight they go once again. Baldry's in fourth place. Up to fifth comes Graham on Nicky Taylor, and Connor Brown's going to get through as well. But no, he's not. Nicky Taylor sorts him out on the exit, and Sam Cunliffe makes the move on Gardside. They rub wheels, but that's okay. Dylan Reid tries to come up the inside of Cunliffe. That's not going to happen. Oh, terrific. Then it's Louis Ross in 11th place. Davison is 12th. Then it's Harvey, Berry, Whitehouse, Parkinson, Cole, Ramlau, Rigg. Then it is Barmowski and Connor Stanton, who missed qualifying and has to go off the back of the grid. What a fantastic start to the race, though, for Callum Gunning, but he's already got a lot of problems from Joe Sheppy and Scott Huntley giving him pressure. Here comes Joe Sheppy down the back straight. Shorty's going to make the move on the inside. This is where Sheppy's going to go for it. Yes, he's going to get there, but is he going to keep the door shut? Gunning's going to come back through on the inside. He knows he can run round the outside of the hook now, so he's going to hold the position. Good work from Gunning. Straight through and keeps the lead. So it's Gunning, Sheppy, and then we have the third place man, Scott Huntley, trying to work his magic in there. Toby Baldry staying with them in fourth place. Graham, Taylor, Brown, and then at the back of that little train we've got, that's Ben Gartside in eighth position. Great racing all the way around the circuit here at Llandow. But Gunning is your leader. Second Sheppy, third Huntley, fourth Baldry, and he's getting closer to them. And there's a great little tussle for fifth position as Graham, Taylor, Brown and Gardside are working together to close them down. This is going to be brilliant stuff as Huntley tries to have a little peek on the inside there of Joe Sheppy. Hasn't quite got the move. Callum Gunning down the straight, no problems at all. We've got a queue of spectators down the Hanger straight because it's adjacent to the main road here at Llandow, and a few bikers and a few spectators are driving along, have seen that there's racing and have stopped to watch. Brilliant stuff. But Gunning is your leader, Sheppy second, Huntley still third, and they are swarming their way now through Lancaster Curve. Great battles in the early stages, but Callum Gunning, he did say on the grid, I'm not sure how I'm going to get past him. I wonder if he knew all along and just had that trick up his sleeve. Brilliant stuff from Gunning. Plenty of grip on the outside of the hook, and he made good use of it. So Gunning leads, Sheppy second, Huntley in third place, then it's Baldry, Graham, Taylor, Brown, and then in 8th place Ben Gartside. Leading the charges Cunliffe and Reid, then it's the 98 of Louis Ross, Davison there in 100, then 124 is Tom Harvey, 80 is Lewis Berry, then it is Parkinson, Whitehouse hovering all over the back of him, then we've got Morgan Cole in 17th from Parmowski, Rigg, Stanton and Ramlal. What a junior field it is in 2018. The competition is even tougher this year than it was 12 months ago. And as they come out of the Spitfire straight, Gunning is actually pulling away from the leading battle. This is brilliant. The leader, Callum Gunning, is getting away. He is emerging as a fast man, fresh out of the blocks. But here comes Scott Huntley, trying to make an assault on the second place man, Joe Sheppy. Again, Sheppy moves the car just a couple of centimetres further out. And that's enough to stop Huntley coming through. Brilliant racing. Up towards the hook once again. Right, left, and then quick flick out to the right, down the bomber straight. And things going great for Callum Gunning in the lead. Sheppy, Huntley, Baldry, Graham, Taylor, Brown, Gartside. And then we have Sam Cunliffe, the E-plate, and Dylan Reid in 10th position. Louis Ross in 11th place. Great racing. Callum Gunning still out in front. Second position, Joe Sheppy having a great run there, but he was a little bit outfoxed at the start by Callum Gunning round the outside of the hook. So can Gunning hang on to this lead and take his first junior victory in the BirelART UK Series? He's only got 3.5 minutes plus 1 lap to get there. Harry Graham looks like he's sizing up the back of Toby Baldry into fourth position at Raymond's as they come off the turn. Still great battles all the way down the field. Nobody quite close enough to take that bold move into Raymond's yet, but Dylan Reid is getting hungry on the back of Sam Cunliffe. They make their way through the hook once again. Joe Sheppy, fastest lap of the race last time by. Joe Sheppy does a 44.878. He's determined to close up on Callum Gunning. He's got the gap back down to 0.3 of a second. So there's great racing as they come out of the right-hander up onto the Spitfire straight once again. Joe Sheppy is dropping Scott Huntley. Third position. It looks like all Scott Huntley is going to get today because Sheppy is dropping him and going after Callum Gunning. Meanwhile, the 5th place battle is electric. Make that a 4th place battle because Graham is trying to drop Taylor and go for Toby Baldry. He's going to go for it on the inside of Raymond's, then he backs out of it. He left that very late and just decided to edge his way out of the move. So there's an amazing Titanic scrap for 4th place. It's Baldry, Graham, Taylor, Brown, Gartside. 5 of the men who were thinking about battling for the championship this year, and none of them are in the top 3. Amazing. So Callum Gunning leads the way. Joe Sheppy second. Third is Scott Huntley. We were not quite sure who was going to have the edge with the field covered by less than 2 seconds. But this is absolutely unprecedented. Callum Gunning and Joe Sheppy, super fast, straight out of the blocks. And they are down the hanger straight. Sheppy catching Gunning. And he knows it. Gunning keeps a quick look over his shoulder. Sheppy is not far away now. And there's time to catch him. 2 minutes plus 1 lap is plenty of time. Gunning still leads. Sheppy and Huntley is going with Joe Sheppy. Here's the battle for 4th. Baldry, Graham, Taylor, Brown and Gartside. All 5 of them very close together. Then it's Reid and Cunliffe. Ross is in 11th. Davison. Then Harvey, Berry, Whitehouse, Parkinson, Cole, Parmowski there in 18th place. And up the inside goes Nicky Taylor. Taylor makes the move on Graham. Is not going to keep that door shut. Graham's going to get through. And is Connor Brown going to get through? Yes, he does. Connor Brown is through as well. So Graham's back through. Connor Brown makes his way through. So that puts Nicky Taylor down to 7th place. He's not having the start to the season he wanted. But this man out in front, Callum Gunning, is having an absolute riot in the lead of the race in the 108. Joe Sheppy in 2nd, Scott Huntley in 3rd. 4th place still Toby Baldry, best of the rest at the moment. Then Graham, Brown, Taylor and Gartside. Then it's still that great battle between Reid and Cunliffe, although it looks like Reid has got past and Connor Stanton's broken down at the Dell. So Connor Stanton has broken down at the Dell, and it looks to me as though there's going to be yellow flags at the Dell. So no overtaking moves into the Dell for the time being. And what a shame for Connor Stanton. He's already had a disappointing start to his weekend. This whole Sunday is basically an extended test session for him. But Connor Stanton, not the best comeback to the BirelART UK Series, having taken a sabbatical last year. He was a cadet in 2016 and one of the front runners. So getting into juniors was meant to be his renaissance. Hopefully that'll come later as Connor Brown has a look at Toby Baldry because Graham has got through into 4th place. I missed that completely. I was so busy focusing on Stanton that I missed Graham getting into 4th place. So Harry Graham has now got past Toby Baldry and is there in P4. Now, in this start of the season where consistency is everything, Graham getting past Baldry is crucial for that additional point it gives him. Further back, Louis Ross is desperate to hang on in front of Tom Davison, who's now scrapping away with George Whitehouse. No, sorry, that's Tom Harvey. My apologies. Harvey and Whitehouse look so similar from a distance, both using the BirelART graphics, and both of them with white helmets. So they battle away for position. Mind you, George Whitehouse has a front of his visor that is white. He's just got past Lewis Berry, and he's now signalling to Lewis to help him out. Davison, meanwhile, goes for the move on Ross into Raymonds. Ross is going to cut back, takes the position back. Tom Harvey going for it on Davison. But out in front, no change on the last lap. Callum Gunning leading Joe Sheppy and Scott Huntley, with Harry Graham in P4 and Toby Baldry in 5th position from Connor Brown, Nicky Taylor, Ben Gartside, Dylan Reid and Sam Cunliffe. This is absolutely superb stuff. And there's going to be some brilliant racing to come from here. And how about that? GoBobby.uk is loving the racing. And, well, they might, because here comes Callum Gunning after a superb display. The checkered flag is now his. Callum Gunning takes a victory here at Llandow in the first heat of the day. Well done to Callum Gunning. Swords are drawn, and a great race from Callum Gunning, Joe Sheppy and Scott Huntley in the top 3. Harry Graham 4th, fighting his way through, and a great battle. Toby Baldry in 5th position. Connor Brown in 6th from Nicky Taylor, Ben Gartside, Dylan Reid and Sam Cunliffe in the top 10, with Louis Ross, Tom Davison, Tom Harvey, George Whitehouse, Lewis Berry, Zach Parkinson, Morgan Cole, Alicia Parmowski, Jack Rigg, Vijay Ramlal, and unfortunately the race ending early for Connor Stanton, who's not having the greatest weekend from his point of view, but hopefully there is more to come. But the race result confirmed, for the moment at least. Callum Gunning is your race winner from Joe Sheppy in 2nd place. Scott Huntley is 3rd, and the top 6 is rounded out by Harry Graham, Toby Baldry and Connor Brown. But 2018, a state of intent from Callum Gunning, who takes the first victory of the BirelART Junior season in 2018. Gunning wins it from Sheppy in 2nd, Scott Huntley, Graham, Baldry, Brown, Taylor, Gartside, Reid and Cunliffe from Louis Ross, Thomas Davison, Thomas Harvey, George Whitehouse, and then Lewis Berry is the leading rookie in 15th from Zach Parkinson, Morgan Cole, Alicia Parmowski, Jack Rigg, Vijay Ramlal and Connor Stanton. And it's an absolutely fantastic work there from Callum Gunning, who takes the victory in flamboyant style, the first race of the season. What a drive!
Hi, I'm Tom Ingham and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Jake Villeneuve. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Bruno Senna. You're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
Hi, I'm Llandow Norris, and you're listening to Downforce Radio.
And that is just how good the 2018 season is going to be. Wow, the juniors really, really close there. And several pleasantly surprising results there from the drivers, who really gave as good as they got. Terrific stuff. So hopefully now there is more of that where it came from as we battle away for position. I found actually that the best way to get there to the dummy grid is to do this rather awkward climbing over the fence business. I'm hoping I don't have to do this too many times over the course of the day. But I've now found the drivers at the sharp end of the grid, and one I get to talk to straight away, Matthew Pearce at the front end. Matthew, 2018, good start. It's obviously a much tougher challenge in the elites with 2 grids, but that's a real feather in the cap to know that you're still at the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty happy with that to begin with. How many quality drivers there are. Difficult to try and get a clean lap out there. Had a bit of a problem, but managed to get at least one, which was obviously enough. So, yeah, looking forward to this.
And last year was a year plagued by bad luck and things never quite going your way at the right time. This year, you've got such a harder job with so many different drivers to battle with, all of whom have been champions and race winners. But to be here at the front of the grid, I mean, that's a state of intent, surely.
Yeah, well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to sort of like get my nose out front early on. So hopefully may it continue. Hopefully the bad gremlins stay away.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully this is the year for you, Matthew. Well done. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
So he lines up on the front row of the grid alongside Sam Faulkner, who does exactly what I thought he'd do, stick his helmet straight on. He doesn't want to talk. He never does. He is the Kimi Räikkönen of the BirelART UK Junior Paddock. Anyway, we've already spoken to Tyrone. Don't worry, I won't stitch you up a second time. We've got 7 drivers in the mix, of course, to get started. Very hectic and very busy elite dummy grid. My goodness, so many great drivers. I mean, just look at the list of drivers we've got in the mix here. We've got Tom Massarella toward the front end of the field with Tyrone Stansfield, Sam Faulkner and Matthew Pearce. We've got Richard Evans here on the third row of the grid. Ben Yeomans is on the other side of the grid with him. We've got Sam Dimolo a couple of rows back. Michael Roots is in there. We've got Harry Barlow, vice champion in the juniors last year. I mean, the quality of the grid this year is the best it has ever been, without any shadow of doubt. And it's great to see so many top quality drivers at the sharp end. They're all putting helmets and suits on, so I'm going to see if I can try and get a couple of drivers a quick word before they put it up. Can I leave it with Michael Roots just before he gets his helmet on? You tried, but you'll have to try harder next time. How are things?
Yeah, good, thanks, Jake. Yeah. I think, like yesterday, everyone was struggling to get the kart to feel good, and I probably chased my tail a bit. But, yeah, got a bit held up on the fast lap in quali, so hopefully I've got a bit more pace to come today. Just give it a go, yeah. It'll be nice to race with all the youngsters. So, yeah, starting to make me feel a bit old.
Well, how big a difference has the decrease in the minimum weight for your class made it coming into this season? How big a difference does that make?
My bra size is a lot smaller.
I knew you'd say something like that, Mike.
Yeah, no, so it doesn't feel much different for me, to be totally honest. But yeah, they feel quite alive, and the bottom end's still really good, even though the gearing's a little bit different for what the lightweights would have had last year, because I think they've kept the same gearing, haven't they, but a bit more weight. But it seems good, yeah. No, just see what it races like now, I suppose.
Fantastic. Have a good one today.
Thanks, Jake.
So that's Michael Roots getting himself ready. Trust him to talk about bra sizes. It's a family show, for goodness sake. Anyway, let's have a quick word with Richard Evans as he gets himself ready from the third row of the grid. Richard, weren't here yesterday. I know there was a drive, obviously, to negotiate, but straight here and in the top six immediately. That's not bad.
Yeah, I don't think it's too bad. I think there's a little bit more time in it, but time is quite critical. So I think you've got, whether we'll see that sort of pace again today, I don't know. But I'm at the sharp end, so I can have a play from here. So it's all good.
And of course, there's 20 screaming vultures beat you to the hook.
Try not to look backwards too much. So hopefully get a clean start and just settle down. You can't win the race on the first corner, can you? So just see how the day goes.
Good luck. Have a great race weekend.
Right, thank you.
So there we go. That's Richard Evans getting himself ready to go. And I don't want to leave myself too out of breath, so I'm actually going to leave it at that with the drivers getting themselves ready. But the sharp end of the grid, exactly as we kind of predicted it might go with Sam Faulkner and Matthew Pearce at the sharp end. These two implacable rivals when they go to battle. And it's fantastic to watch because we get some of the best racing we're ever going to see when these two get out on the circuit. That's a bit of a negotiation. I might not do that next time. Oh dear, just climbing over the fence at Llandow, just as you do. That's a great way to get the comedy started, isn't it, when I fall flat on my bum? Anyway, we're going to continue on with the action, and this race will be our last before the lunch break. And then, of course, after lunch, we will have our pre-finals and finals from each of our three classes. May only be 9 races in a weekend, but I tell you what, they're 9 of the best races you're going to see in one meeting. So there we go. I've made it back to my commentary box position. That's hard. That's really hard work. 2 flights of stairs, and then all the way to the end of the pit lane several times over the course of the day. If I haven't hit my target on my polar loop, I'll be very angry. Anyway, we've got that battle at the front of the field to consider between Sam Faulkner and Matthew Pearce. But of course, there's also that little bit of a tussle between the likes of Tyrone Stansfield and Tom Massarella. Steve Martin watching on. Of course, Steve Martin, a character that we do miss, actually, here in the BirelART UK Series paddock, largely because his son, Will, is now racing in the Ginettas, in the Ginetta Junior Championship. He did a grand job at Brands Hatch last week, actually. Well done, Will. And I'm sure you're watching this and missing it. No matter what you think, you're definitely missing this, especially when it's incredibly close. In fact, just as I talk about Will Martin, he was watching that previous junior race and saying, well done, everyone. Well, and it's quite nice that his profile picture, as you can see, is him hanging out with the BirelART UK Series paddock, in particular Tyrone Stansfield, at the dinner a few months ago. God, that seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it? That was only 3 months ago. It was only the Saturday night of the Autosport show. But what a fantastic start to the season we've already had from the cadets and from the juniors. Will we get one from the elites? Of course we will. There's 26 of them, and 26 of the finest drivers in the country. So it's going to be an absolutely brilliant battle. And who is going to draw first blood? Because we've got 3 recent champions on the same grid. We've got Sam Faulkner, reigning elite champion. We've got Sam Dimolo, reigning Masters champion. And then, of course, we've got Tyrone Stansfield, reigning junior champion. And all 3 of them are on the same grid, and only one of them can win the championship. Of course, there are 23 other drivers who've got something to say about that. Actually, none of them will win, they all say, because it's going to be me. But when you consider how close it actually is, it's going to be very, very good fun. But a lot of the drivers in this grid, over the age of 16, of course, will be thinking, well, this is just going to be a huge laugh. This is probably, I think, for many people in this paddock, the premier category for action. Of course, the cadets and the juniors will spice things up and give us plenty of race action as they begin their racing careers. But for the seniors, 16 years of age, this is the pinnacle of their sport. And this is the right type of motorsport as far as they're concerned. There's no teams, there's not a lot of money, there's barely any politics, but it makes the racing absolutely superb. And as a result, over the course of last year, we had some absolutely terrific racing in the elites and the masters. So to put them both on the same grid, wow, this is going to be an absolutely superb racing season for the super elites. And there you go, Steve Martin has actually messaged us all. Miss you all, great crowd of pure racers. And that comes from someone, of course, who's done it with his son Will in the juniors last year, having now moved on to the Ginetta Juniors. Plenty of drivers have done so, by the way. They've started in the BirelART UK Series paddock, cheap and cheerful compared to the likes of other national championships, but it sets you off on a great path. Jake Hughes raced here many years ago and is now, of course, racing in European Formula 3 and GP3. He's a very talented racer, having done so. You've also got to look at the likes of Toby Sowery, who raced in the BirelART UK Series in the early days of EasyKart and has now gone on to race in GTs at international level. So it's a good starting point for several drivers making their way through. Let's not forget Esme Hawkey, of course, who's gone on to race at various levels of sports cars since her breakout into car racing through Ginetta Juniors. So Sam Faulkner and Matthew Pearce on the front of the grid, with Tom Massarella and Tyrone Stansfield on the second row of the starting grid. Looks like we've had a bit of an off on the hook on the first lap. Goodness me. Let's not have too much of that, please. Ben Yeomans is there in 5th position with Richard Evans in 6th. Then it's Michael Roots and Harry Barlow on the 4th row of the starting grid. And then we'll have Dan Walden in 9th position on the starting grid, in there with the reigning Masters champion, Sam Dimolo. Only half a second off pole position. But if you're half a second off, you're down on the 5th row. That's how close it is in the Super Elites in 2018. Ben Hitch is alongside the former Grandmasters E-plate holder. That is Neil Fisher. And then we have Jim Rainbird and Mark Lawrence, 2 of the most experienced drivers in the BirelART UK Series Senior Brigade. Mark Lawrence has been here since day one, and he will start his 250th race at the fantastic Fullbeck circuit a little bit later on in the season. Come on, Harry Barlow, missed being there, says Judy Douglas, and away we go. They're going for a false start. So they're going to go round again. That gives us a little bit of warm-up time. So we're going to go round again. No start that time. Well, that's pretty good because we've got several other messages to give out, including a state of intent, which could potentially give us a 27th person on the starting grid. A familiar face, missing not being on the grid. But don't worry, Treble 2 will be back from James English. Yes, we do miss you, James. Get back on this grid pronto, sir. You will probably be right in the mix of this as we go through the rest of the grid. Just one novice, that is Solomon Patience. And look, only a 1/10 of a second off the back of it, so definitely deserving of being here. And I think the record broken for where drivers are watching from is by Trish Friday. Oh, sorry, from Ellie Chapman. Watching her brother George all the way from Perth in Australia. If anybody is watching from further afield, I'll eat my hat. And I haven't got one. So Will Checkley is the 27th driver, having failed to set a time in the qualifying session. 27 drivers then on the starting grid in the Super Elites. We're getting ready for the action. Out of the final turn. Faulkner and Pearce for the first time in 2018. Let's go, 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 go. And it's a cracking start from Pearce, who's trying to get one over on Faulkner. He has to concede as the rest of the field pits its way through the hook for the first time. Is there any fisticuffs? No, there is. That's a spin from Ian Williams. Ian Williams in the 300 has gone round and everybody's had to try and make a way around. So that's not doing well, is it? Ian Williams messing up in front of the cameras. Normally he tries his best not to mess up behind the cameras. Anyway, through they come on the far side of the circuit, and it is Faulkner from Pearce. And they are already starting to stretch out from Massarella and Stansfield, although the pair of them are still there, and they know each other very well. They will work together here. Yeomans is 5th. Roots is 6th. Pearce is immediately going for the lead on Faulkner into Raymonds. Faulkner will try and get him straight back again, and surely he's going to get there, but Pearce is sticking his neck in. They bang wheels. Straight away, the rivalry continues and resumes. Faulkner versus Pearce. Ding, ding. Here we go. And Faulkner is going to lose the lead to Pearce this time. Oh, beautifully done from Matthew Pearce. Straight up the inside and gets the lead back again. Here we go. Matthew Pearce is going to give us an absolute show. Sam Faulkner right underneath him. Massarella and Stansfield close behind. And up to 5th place now has come Michael Roots in front of Sam Dimolo and Ben Yeomans. This is brilliant. We've got the Elites leaders versus the Masters leaders. And there is an absolutely brilliant battle to come. Harry Barlow is in there as well in the 301. 9th place is Richard Evans. He's going to lose that now, though, to the 282 of Neil Fisher. What a race. The first one of the season with Elites and Masters in the same grid. And oh my goodness, it's a good one. We've had a retirement, though. It's Will Checkley. Will Checkley is off at the Dell. So Will Checkley is out of the race at the Dell. That's a real shame, having tried to fight his way through and make up a few places, and he looks very frustrated there, the 18-year-old. What a shame. But Matthew Pearce leads the way here from the number 1, Sam Faulkner, reigning champion in the Elites. Yellow flags fly at the Dell to recover Will Checkley's car. There he is to the right-hand side. He looks absolutely devastated, and he's got every reason to feel that way, I'm afraid. He was making good progress. Meanwhile, Pearce is your leader from Faulkner. Massarella goes out a little wide. Stansfield will give him some support. Or will he just go for the move? Stansfield dives for the inside and gets 3rd place in the hook. Terrific work there from the man from Braintree, reigning junior champion. Matthew Pearce is leading the reigning Elites champion ahead of the reigning junior champion. And 2 carts back, the reigning Masters champion, Sam Dimolo, is trying to get one over on his old mate, Michael Roots. This is a terrific spectacle. We hoped it would go this way with the front runners in the Elites up there with the front runners of the Masters, and there's not much difference in pace at all. Terrific stuff. Increasing the minimum weight of the Elites and decreasing the minimum weight of the Masters has tightened things up no end. Here they come. Pearce, Faulkner, Stansfield, Massarella, Roots, and then it is Dimolo holding off Yeomans and Barlow. This is superb. Fisher in 9th place. Then it is Hitch. Hitch has come up into 10th place from Walden. And then Mark Lawrence ahead of Jason Bradbury and Jim Rainbird. Sean Porter's in there in 15th in front of George Friday, trying to make his progress up through the field. Then Matt Rainbow, Amy Jurger, Elliot Stanley, then Watt, Burns, Ogle, Williams. And then we have the 24th place man. That is Patience in front of David Darling and Richard Evans. Richard Evans has disappeared from the fray. I think Richard Evans might be out of the race. So Richard Evans has got a mechanical problem and is out of the race. Well, that is a real shock. Richard Evans, the number 2 plate, is out of the first race of the season. He'll have to start the next one from the back end of the grid with Will Checkley. 2 retirements. There is the 160. That is Ben Hitch getting himself right into the mix, and 2 right. Ben Hitch doing a grand job in the top 10. When you consider the kind of talent he's got behind him, that is absolutely superb. So great racing. Matthew Pearce leads the way from Sam Faulkner, though 2 of them have broken clear of Tyrone Stansfield. Massarella can't keep up with the 3 of them, unfortunately. But he's dropping back a little bit. Meanwhile, Roots and Yeomans goes for Roots, and they come together. Roots and Yeomans have come together. There is Roots recovering. Yeomans, I think, trying to go for the move on the inside of Roots, and Roots ended up falling off the road. Dimolo's got through, Barlow's got through, and now Neil Fisher's got through. Oh, Michael Roots on the back foot. He's losing more places, this time to Bradbury, and almost lost the place to Jim Rainbird, with Port in there as well from George Friday. Oh, dramatic racing here. But Yeoman's trying to make progress on Michael Roots. They just ended up tagging each other, and it's ended up causing a bit of a melee. Great stuff, this. Absolutely terrific. And now, how about this? Faulkner's back in the lead. Faulkner's back in the lead on Pearce. With 3 minutes and plus 1 lap to go. That move from Faulkner has got Pearce on the back foot, but now Tyrone Stansfield's trying to go with them. Faulkner's defending at this early stage of the race. Now Pearce is going to try and cut back through. So Faulkner is already very convinced of the fact that he can't get away from Matthew Pearce and Tyrone Stansfield. Stansfield is right in there in third place. What if he could break past them both? Here comes Pearce again, looking for a way to get past Faulkner, edging his way closer and closer through Surtees and up towards McQuarters, into the right-hander, sweeping down through Lancaster Curve. Stansfield's looking pretty hungry. Pearce has another go at Faulkner. Isn't going to make it through the right-hander, up the Spitfire straight, up towards the Dell. Faulkner, absolutely resilient, tries again to hold back Matthew Pearce. Stansfield is right there in third position. Any one of these three is going to take the victory here. And if they mess up, Massarella's right there for the waiting. Out of the final turn. Faulkner still hangs on from Pearce and Stansfield. Massarella in fourth position. Fifth place is Sam Dimolo. Dimolo's made his way forward with Barlow. Then it's Yeomans and Fisher. Then it's Ben Hitch. And I think that is now... Well, who is that in 10th position? That is Dan Walden. Then it's Mark Lawrence, Bradbury, Rainbird and Roots. So Roots is struggling to make progress, whereas Yeomans has remained in about 7th position. And now Matthew Pearce is back in the lead. Matthew Pearce has got him back. And it's that same move into Surtees each time. But now Stansfield's going to have a go at Faulkner. Faulkner's got to try and get away from Tyrone Stansfield as they go back down the straight. There's a good opportunity here. Matthew Pearce is going to try and hang on to the lead here with 1.5 minutes to go plus 1 lap. The racing in the elites is just about the best show in town. Absolutely terrific. But watch out, Matthew. Sam Faulkner's going to try and come back into Surtees. He has a look up towards McQuarters. Matthew Pearce hangs on. Hanging onto that inside line is tightening up Tyrone Stansfield into third position. He's got a chance to come back into this as Faulkner tries again round the outside to set himself up for a move into the Dell. But that's not going to happen if Matthew Pearce has got a say in it. Faulkner's very close to Matthew Pearce this time. Pearce has got to be defensive. He knows it. He's got to try and move across to keep Faulkner at bay. Faulkner's not going to try a late move into Raymond's. And as they come off the turn, back across the line once more. This is superb. And Massarella is stepping up the pace now as well. Massarella's starting to catch up to these three out front with Dimolo. And in 6th place, that has got to be Harry Barlow, tightening up their grip as well. Yeoman's there in 7th. Then it's Fisher, Hitch, Walden, Lawrence, Bradbury, Rainbird, Roots, Port, Friday, Rainbow, Stanley, Williams, Watt, Jurger, Ogle, Burns, Patience and Darling. Terrific racing. We knew that putting the elites and masters on the same grid was going to be interesting, but we never thought it was going to be this spicy. This is like a hot Tabasco sauce. Down towards the hairpin. Faulkner tightening up behind Pearce. No moves there. Further back, just looking for an overtaking move or two into Raymond's. Nobody's that brave yet. Roots has got himself past Sean Port. Friday and Bradbury are not far back from that. And we've got a yellow flag. We've had another off. We've had another off. It looks like the tyres have been dislodged up at the exit of the Dell. So we've got a yellow flag. Now, who is that that's gone? I think we've lost somebody. Have we lost Neil Fisher? Neil Fisher is out of the race. His cart is parked up on the way to the hangar straight. Neil Fisher is out. That is a disaster for Neil Fisher. It looks as if the cart's just broken down, but that's tightened up. Faulkner's got close to Matthew Pearce. And he's going to make a very late lunge. Pearce is going to try and get him back, but Faulkner's got through. Matthew Pearce is going to come straight back at him. Now, Matthew Pearce is going to suggest potentially there that the checkered flag came down as a result of that. I didn't even see the checkered flag going down, but Faulkner got the win from Pearce. Wow. Yellow flag on the last lap, and Faulkner, well, whether he slowed under yellows or not, I don't know, but he managed to get a great run. Absolutely terrific. Well, Faulkner has crossed the line in first place in front of Matthew Pearce. Under yellow flags, Neil Fisher's cart removed from the scene of the accident. Fisher out of the race, but Sam Faulkner takes the checkered flag from Matthew Pearce, and they didn't even realise the checkered flag had gone out. They didn't even realise. Well, that is very, very strange. Absolutely amazing. I just didn't expect that one at all. Wow. Wow. What a move, says Callum Croxton. What a move is right. Into the final corner of the final lap. I'm not sure they realised that was the last lap, but Faulkner just decided, I'm going for it, whatever. And the whole field takes the checkered flag. Wow. It's a bit of a mystery there because the drivers didn't know the checkered flag was out by the look of it. So, I don't know what to make of that. Well, Faulkner's taken the victory. Matthew Pearce will be absolutely bitterly disappointed to have lost the lead when he had it in the bag. But that yellow flag for Neil Fisher's kart, it caught him out there a little bit. So, that is absolutely amazing. So we're about to go for our lunch break now, of course, here at Llandow. And it's been an absolutely terrific racing day so far. We've had the first heat for the cadets, for the juniors and the seniors. It's been great racing thus far. We will be back a little bit later on in the afternoon, just in time for the first of the pre-finals. 3 days races down, 6 to go, and it's going to be an absolutely terrific battle. So, wow. What a great start to the day, and there's more where that came from. Stick around, have a breather, and we'll be back very shortly with the rest of the day's action.